This section of Control It Plus explores healthy eating and what this means. We'll look at how your diet impacts upon blood glucose levels and overall health. Hopefully, by the end of this session, you'll have a better understanding of healthy eating and how this impacts upon your blood glucose levels and long-term health. Eating well and following a healthy lifestyle can play a big part in managing your diabetes, your weight, and help towards preventing long-term health problems. There are lots of mixed messages about what healthy eating means, and this can easily lead to confusion. It's important to remember that in order to manage your diabetes better, it's not a special diet or a sugar-free diet that is recommended. Instead, it is a healthy, balanced diet which most of the population would benefit from following too. One of the ways in which we explain what a healthy, balanced diet is by using what is known as the Eat Well Guide. Maybe you have seen the Eat Well Guide before. The guide splits our foods and drinks into 5 main groups, and in order to achieve a balanced diet, we should choose a variety of foods in the proportions shown. So this would be like looking at your intake over a whole day or over a whole week. We can look at each of the main food groups now. At the top left-hand side in the green section, this is fruits and vegetables. You can see that the green section should make up around 1/3 of your diet. For fruit and vegetable intake, we should be consuming about 5 portions every day. This food group provides us with essential vitamins, minerals, and are a good source of fibre. The 5 a day can be split, for example, into 3 portions of fruit and 2 portions of vegetables, or vice versa. A portion is a small handful, or 80 grams. An example of this would be 1 apple, or 2 satsumas, or a small handful of grapes or strawberries. A portion of vegetables would be 2 to 3 heaped tablespoons, or a bowl of side salad or vegetable-based soup. Fresh, frozen and canned varieties all count towards making up your 5 a day. Fruit juice can also contribute to one of your daily portions. However, try to limit this to 1 small glass of 150 ml per day at the most. Any more than this can lead to raising your blood glucose levels more. Ways in which you could look towards achieving your 5 a day, for example, could be a portion of fruit in your cereal at breakfast and a small glass of fruit juice, a bowl of vegetable soup at lunch and a piece of fruit, and then 3 heaped tablespoons of vegetables at your evening meal. Similar in size to the green section of the Eat Well Guide and making up another of the main food groups are carbohydrate foods, shown here in the yellow section. Carbohydrates are needed as the body's main source of energy. In order for our bodies to gain this energy, carbohydrates are broken down into glucose by the body. Carbohydrate foods include breads, pasta, potatoes, rice and cereals. Better choices are whole grain and wholemeal varieties, as these are broken down much slower and they also make us feel fuller for longer. Moving on to the bottom left-hand side of the Eat Well Guide, the pink section is protein sources. You can see this food group should make up a smaller proportion of our diet. Protein foods include meat, chicken, turkey, fish, eggs and pulses such as peas, beans and lentils. Meat alternatives are also included within this group, including soya, corn, tofu and nuts. We should aim to eat between 2 and 3 medium-sized portions from this group each day, and an example of a portion is 1 breast of chicken or 1 fillet of fish. Try to choose leaner cuts of meat, trim off any visible fat and skin, and choose lower fat products such as lean mince. Aim to eat 2 portions of fish per week, and try to include 1 portion of oily fish, such as fresh salmon, trout, mackerel, herring, kippers or sardines. Next to the pink section and similar in size is the blue section, which is milk and dairy foods. These are essential as they provide us with calcium for strong bones and teeth. Ideally, choose low-fat options such as semi-skimmed milk, low-fat yogurts and low-fat cheese. You should aim to include 2 to 3 portions of milk and dairy per day, and one portion is 1/3 of a pint of milk, or 1 small pot of yogurt, or a small matchbox-sized piece of cheese. The final and smallest food group in purple is oils and spreads. Try to eat these foods less often and in small quantities. We do need a small amount of fat in our diet, but we should limit the amount of saturated fat. Unsaturated fats are a healthier group of fats, and we should choose these over saturated kinds. Healthier choices are olive oil, rapeseed oil, and vegetable oil. Choose lower fat spreads in place of butter and opt for olive or sunflower spreads. Try to spread all fats thinly, avoid frying where possible, and try not to add too much fat when cooking. All fats are high in energy or calories, so a high fat intake can lead to weight gain and should be limited. This picture shows the complete Eat Well guide, which has a few additional messages in addition to the main food groups which we have just looked at. In the bottom left-hand corner are foods which are high in fat, sugars and salt. Foods in this group include chocolate, cakes, biscuits, puddings, pastries and crisps. These foods contain a lot of calories, and when you have large servings of them, they can contribute to weight gain. Try to limit your consumption by having less often and in smaller amounts. High sugar foods like sweets, chocolate, jams, and honey and sugary drinks can also cause dental decay and can be swapped for diet or sugar-free kinds. Try to reduce or avoid adding sugar to tea, coffee and cereals, or in place of sugar you could try sweeteners. Salt is something that taking too much of can lead to high blood pressure. Try to add salt only during cooking and avoid adding at the table too. Low salt products are not recommended, however you could try flavouring foods with pepper, herbs and spices rather than relying on salt each time. You will see the mention of fluid intake at the top right. You should aim to drink between 6 and 8 glasses of fluid each day, which is around 1.5 to 2 litres, to prevent dehydration. Water, tea and coffee all count towards this. Take care with fluids which have added sugar or fat, as this can cause a rise in blood glucose and weight gain. Alcohol should be limited to 14 units at most each week for men and women. Try to spread alcohol intake out over the week and have at least 2 to 3 alcohol-free days per week. Being overweight is the main risk factor for type 2 diabetes. Recent research in the DIRECT study has shown that losing up to 15 kilograms in weight can bring blood glucose levels down to a healthy, non-diabetic range, which is called remission. Remission means that you would not require medication to control your diabetes if you can maintain the weight loss. This shows the importance of making lifestyle changes now at diagnosis. For further information on the research that has taken place and the findings to date, you can find this at the website address given here. The weight loss plate diagram shown here prompts you to think about portion sizes. Portion sizes are something that can not only help you control blood sugars better, but can help in controlling weight. Looking at the healthy portion plate, consider how this compares to your own. You can see that vegetables and fruit should make up half of your intake at mealtimes, so try filling up your plate with foods from this food group. The remaining quarters of your plate should ideally be carbohydrate and protein foods. If you're trying to reduce portion sizes, try using smaller plates and bowls so that your portions appear larger. Eat slowly and wait a while before taking seconds, as it can take a while for our brains to register that we have eaten enough food. If you are cooking larger quantities, try to portion meals out and freeze them for a later date, as this can help us control how much we eat. Looking at food labels can be a good way to compare foods and drinks in order to make healthier choices. A couple of areas on nutrition labels can help you decide how healthy the product is. The first section you can look at is the ingredients list. The ingredients are listed in order of quantity, with the main ingredient listed first. So if you look and see sugar or syrup, for example, listed in the first few ingredients, you know that this is quite high and it's one of the main ingredients in the food. The bottom half of the label is the nutrition table, where it's best to look at the 100 gram column here. This lists the amount of each nutrient per 100 grams of the food. It's helpful to look at the sugar, fat and salt in particular. As an example, if we look at the sugar content per 100 grams, we can see that this product is low, as it's only 1.2 grams of sugar per 100 grams. A low sugar food is anything below 5 grams per 100 grams, and a high sugar food is anything above 22.5 grams of sugar per 100 grams. If you look at this next diagram, this shows you the quantities for sugar, fat, saturated fat and salt. It gives you the values, which mean that a food is either high, moderate or low. If you're not keen to look at the nutrition label, then another way to use labels is by looking at the front of label packaging. Many foods now have a traffic light colour code on the front. At a glance, this tells you if the food is high, moderate or low for sugars, fats and salt. You can gauge how healthy a food is by looking at how many green or red boxes it has. Try to choose more foods which have more green and amber boxes as opposed to mostly reds. So just to summarise a few of the main points we have covered in the Eat It section of Control It Plus. We want to eat a variety of foods from all the main food groups. It's better for diabetes control if you can eat at regular times throughout the day. Be careful with portion sizes and remember to stay well hydrated. Try not to exceed 14 units of alcohol over a week and have some alcohol-free days, and remember that weight loss can lead to much better control of your diabetes, blood pressure and cholesterol levels.